All right, so this is the Chapter 3 Planets program, and what you're given here are different planets, the orbital radius in millions of kilometers of each of the planets, and then they're asking you to convert it to miles, millions of miles, and then a ratio. We'll talk about that in a second. So information that you're given that's important is this table here. So what you're being told here is that 1 kilometer is equal to 0.621371 miles. So just like we've done in the last couple, we're going to set up a ratio. So we have 1 kilometer over 0.6123 miles. So this is a ratio, which is a fraction. So I have that is my 1 fraction, and I'm going to convert. So the 57.9 is millions of kilometers. That's right here. So since kilometers is on top, I'm going to put the 57.9 on top. And then the miles is what I'm trying to find, so that's on the bottom. And so I'm going to cross multiply. So I'm going to get 1x equals 57.9 million times that 0.621371, 0.6213, sorry, and I'm taking those ratios and multiplying them together, and then I'm technically dividing by 1, so x is equal to 57.9 million kilometers times 0.621371 divided by 1. Okay, so now I need to translate that into my cell locations. So 57.9 is located in cell C12. 0.621371 is located in C7, and the 1 is located in B7. So I'm going to put that all into formula, but the trick here is that it's not just 57.9, it's 57.9 million. So I have to take the C12 and multiply it by 1 million. So my final result, I have to come up here and type that, is going to be the 57.9 times 1 million times the 0.621371 divided by 1. That's what I'm going to be typing in this location, except I'm using cell references. So 57.9 is located in C12. I'm multiplying that by 1 million. I'm multiplying that by C7, and then I'm dividing by B7. And that's how I'm going to calculate my formula for the number of miles. This is going to equal number of miles. Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute. I'd like for you to type that in cell D12 to calculate your number of miles. Okay, if we go back and look at our instructions say to convert the orbital radius to miles, and to fill it down, and then it does tell us in these instructions, okay, so it doesn't tell us to format it in any particular way, so we can leave it formatted the way it is. So you need to fill that information down, so go ahead and fill those values down. Alright, so let's talk about what happened. When we filled them down, we got these strange numbers here. So let's see why this happened. So on this next location for Venus, I should have had 108, which is located in C13, and then I should have still multiplied by the 0.621, but that's still located in C7. And look what happened. When I filled it down, it gave me a C8 and a B8. Well, there's nothing in C8 and B8. So we need to go back and talk about our absolute referencing. And the C7 and B7 will never change. It's always going to be C7 and B7. So remember, absolute referencing allows us to put a $ in front of the C and a $ in front of the 7, and that will prevent the C and the B from ever changing, so that when I drag them, they're treated as constants and they never change. So we need to go back and change our formula that we have in cell D12 to the correct formula, and put in the $ to make it absolute referencing. So go ahead and do that. All right, so once you've done that, you've got these values in here for your number of miles. So now our next step is to take those miles and convert them into millions of miles. So just like up here where I multiplied by 1,000,000 to expand it out and make it miles, this time I want to divide by 1,000,000. So I want to take the value, the 35 million that I have here, and divide by 1,000,000 to get the correct answer. So I'm taking the D12 and dividing it by 1,000,000 to come up with our answer. So let's look at our instructions. Our instructions say, convert the orbital radius in millions of miles, fill it down, and format it as a number with 2 decimal places. So I need to take this number and format it as a number with 2 decimal places. Okay? And then I want to fill that value down. Okay, so now I've got my millions of miles. All right, so now let's talk about the next step. It says to scale all of these values with Earth set to 1, formatted as 2 decimal places. So Earth is going to be 1. In all of these cases, Earth will be 1. Now these are all supposed to be, let's check real quick on our instructions, formatted as a number with 2 decimal places. So we're going to format each of these as a number with 2 decimal places. And we've got the 2 decimal places. So this is what they're telling us to do. Earth is always going to be 1, and they want to figure out what are these other values in relationship to Earth being set to 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up proportions to try and calculate this. And once we set up the proportion once, we should be able to just copy it and fill down. So here's what's happening. We've got the 57.9, and we've got the 149.6, because that's Earth, and we've got this X, this is where our X is, and we've got the 1. So we're looking at this column. I'm going to make it yellow. No, I'm going to make it green. Okay, so we've got this green column, and we're trying to set up proportions with this column over here. I'm going to make that green too. So right now we're looking at these 2 columns, and we're going to try and make those match, with Earth always being set to 1. So let's look at what we're going to need to do with that. I'm going to delete this up here so I have some room to write. So let's start with Mercury. So Mercury is 57.9, and Earth is 149.6. Okay? Well, over here in this column, Mercury is X, and Earth is 1.00. Okay? So we want to set up our ratios with those values. So now we're going to cross multiply. So we have, for the next line down, we have 57.9 times 1 equals 149.6 X. Okay, and then the next line down, we're going to have x equals 57.9 times 1 divided by 149.6. Sorry about that. Okay, so now let's figure out what this all means. Give me 1 second, please. All right, so now we're going to set up our cell references. So the 57.9 is actually located in cell C12. So x is going to equal C12 times the 1 is located in F14. So F14 divided by, and the 149.6 is located in C14. So that's C14. Okay. So now we've got to talk about our cell referencing and whether we're going to have mixed referencing or absolute referencing. So the 149.6 and the 1 should never change. So let's talk about another example. So what if it was Venus and we were doing 108.2? So it would be 108.2 right here. It would still be 149.6. The x would now be down here, so it would still be, it would still be x over 1. So when I cross multiplied, the only thing that would change here is that this would be 108.2, and this would be 108.2. Right? So that means that this would change to C13, but everything else would be the same. So since the F14 and the C14 never change, they're always going to be F14 and C14, then that means I want to put my absolute referencing around it. So I'm going to put dollar signs around the F and dollar signs around the C so that they become absolute referenced. Okay? All right, so now I want you to type the formula that you're going to need to type into cell F12. Okay, so type in your formula for F12 and let's see if you come up with what I do. All right, so let's look at our instructions really quick. So it says to calculate this information, format them with numbers with 2 decimal places. So these are all formatted as numbers with 2 decimal places. So I would like to talk about this formula that we had up here again. So notice that F14 is always 1, right? So when you multiply something by 1, it doesn't have any impact on it. So another way that we could have written this is just to have said equals, and instead of all of that, we could have just said C13 divided by C14. So what that does is it takes the 57.9, or in this case 108.2, and divides it by 149.6. And if we notice that this is going to give us the same answer. So if I look at one of these formulas, I could change it and I could take out the F14 and do that, and I get the same formula. Now, the advantage to this is that now I can fill it down and I get the same answers, but it don't give an error message. So if you were getting an error message before, that might make things easier. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it with these other 2 columns. So what changes up here? Okay, so let me get rid of some of this stuff. So what's going to change is that instead of 108.2, I'm now going to have 35,977,381. So 35,977,381. And I'm going to have Earth, which is 92,957,102,000. And I'm still going to have x, and 1. So when I cross multiply, I end up still with this 92 million number, 92,957,102 times x equals 35,977,381 times 1, and then I'm going to end up taking x is equal to the 35,977,381 divided by 92,957,102. So because I multiplied by 1, I can leave that out again. So I'm just taking the 35 million, which is located in D12, and dividing it by D14. And again, the D14 never changes, so I have to use my cell referencing and absolute referencing. So I'd like you to go ahead and do that, and then you're going to do it again for this other column, but you're going to use these millions of miles. So you're going to do the 35.98 over 92.96, and then x over 1, just like we did before, and you're going to cross multiply. So go ahead and get those done, and then we'll come back and look at the next step. Alright, so once you've finished all your table, you should notice that all these values are the same. So then the next question in part D is asking you, if you're going to create a planetary scale with Earth set to 1, does it matter what units? In other words, did it matter up here whether I used kilometers or millions of kilometers or miles or millions of miles? Did it make any difference? So you're going to choose whether it did or not. So you have a choice of yes or no in this box, okay? And then in part E it says, wait a minute. Okay, so then in part E it says, are the scales that you just created in part C with Earth set to 1 unitless? And again, the answer you're going to come up with is yes or no. So here our answers are either going to be yes or no, and in here our answer is either going to be yes or no. Okay, so now the next part says, create a well-labeled bar chart. So we're going to go to our instructions. It says, select range B12 to C21. So B12 starts here to C21, and then we're going to go to Insert, Recommended Charts. Our directions are telling us, oops, let me close this again. Our directions are telling us to choose a clustered bar chart and then apply style 5. Okay, so we're going to choose that, insert. So the first one here you have is a clustered column. The second one is a clustered bar. We want the clustered bar chart. Okay. Style number 5. Okay. So we can do that by coming up here and choosing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or I can also click on the paintbrush and choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this is easier, so I'm going to do that. So style 5. And then let's look at our next directions. Our next directions say add a chart title and choose above the chart and replace it with orbital radius millions of kilometers. So we're going to change this title to say orbital radius. And then in parentheses, millions kilometer. All right, and then we're going to take this chart and we're going to drag it into our bar, our box down here, and make sure that it's in that area that they've designated for that. Okay, so I hope this helps, and I hope you have a great week.